What is good, guys? This is Steven, aka the Poketechnician, back here bringing you another video. And today I will be showing you my VGC draft for our VGC Draft League, which is Squirrel Squad Battle Group versus Team Life Orb, hosted by Neil Patel, who I will link in the description. Neil, obviously a really awesome battler. But we do have some stuff up our sleeves. Our layout, that is going to be, as you can see, really just for our battles. But I did throw my 11 Pokemon on there as well. So let's take a look at them. I had pick number 5. And this is a Series 9 draft, of course. So with pick number 5, I decided to go with Dragapult. Dragapult is awesome in that it does so many things. You want it to screen, you want it to Will-O-Wisp, you want it to do things like that. It can support style. It does get Breaking Swipe, Dragon Darts, a really good range of attacking moves. So if we just take a peek here, it does get Flying and Acrobatics, gets Draco Meteor and Dragon Darts, as well as Dragon Dance if you wanted to go for a Dragon Dance setup. Which might make sense, considering when you look at the rest of my team later on here. Fire Blast, Flamethrower for max moves. Hydro Pump for a good water max move. Outrage if you want to go Fizz Dragon max move. This is a really good Maxmon, but it has such a variety of things that it can do. So, yeah, you see just Psychic Fang, Scald, Shadow Ball, Steel Wing, if we're going the physical route, furthermore. Substitute, Sucker Punch, Surf to activate. Surf is really good for proccing the weakness policy on like Nihilego or Mamoswine. And then I do have the beat up for Cobalion. It does get Thunder Wave, U-Turn, probably not that useful in doubles format, but Will-O-Wisp, certainly useful. Ally Switch can be really annoying, and the rest of these are mostly coverage here. Fly, obviously good for a max flying move. Yeah, Hyper Beam if you want to go for a special set, but this thing is really just like a middle ground between offense and support. So Dragapult is definitely one of the top picks in this kind of league. I do hope I can use it well, because I haven't done that really with Dragapult in doubles before. But there's a lot that it can do, so hopefully less of a learning curve and more of just a winning curve for me. Anyhow, we decided to pair Dragapult with Nihilego. Nihilego does resist the Fairy and Ice that Dragapult is weak to. Ghost and Dark is something that we should be shoring up, but in this draft I think you'll see we don't do a sufficient job of doing that, which is one of my criticisms of my own draft. But anyhow, Nihilego is really good because the coverage that it gets, it's a very strong, especially defensive mon. Speed, special defense, special attack is what it can work with, so won't be using special defense boosting, but just having a really nice base special defense is good. And you can see here, we can boost either special attack or speed depending on the set we want to go with. These are just examples, by the way, so don't take any of this too literally, because Nihilego can use the Power Herb to make its Meteor Beam more devastating. It can use the Weakness Policy along with Surf Dragapult because it has such a good special defense stat. And it can do a bevy of other things as well. If you look at Assault Vest or even a Focus Sash set could work, so it's really nice for it. Mamoswine, a very good hard-hitting tier 1. I originally really wanted Rotom Wash, but I decided to go for Mamoswine this round, and I could have gotten Rotom Wash, but I'm kind of almost happy to some degree that I did get Mamoswine because it can function in or out of TR. It doesn't have a very OP speed stat. It's just kind of in the middle there. It's average or just above average, I would say. However, as you can see, it's got some really good offensive coverage, superpower. This is a Max Mon. Don't get it mistaken, because this Mon is either weakness policy or max or both, you know. But it does get superpower for Max Knuckle if you want to boost your attack. Lots of good ice coverage, of course. High horsepower, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Stone Edge. Does get knockoff. Oh gosh, what else? A couple other tricky tricks. Does get freeze dry if you want to try and manipulate that somehow. Otherwise, you're looking at some screens, Endeavor, you know, the usual. Yeah. This one just hits hard. And if you can get it set up in terms of max or weakness policy or just the few niches that it can fulfill, it's really strong against certain opponents. So, Mamoswine, happy I picked that up. And we move on to Cobalion. So, Cobalion is an interesting pick. It pairs really well with Dragapult. Again, resisting those fairy moves, ice moves, dark moves, neutral to ghost. However, dark moves are going to give me the attack boost. This pairs well with Beat Up, Dragapult, and I have many mons who get Brutal Swing and some other dark attacks, but Beat Up is kind of a really good mode for this Cobalion. It does get Bounce to boost its speed and max. Gets Bounce, gets Fighting coverage, gets Steel coverage, gets... Does it get Ground? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it gets some sort of ground coverage. I don't know. Maybe not. So it can't boost its special defense, which is something interesting to keep track of, but I don't think it matters. Like, you put a Moringa Berry or something on this, and it's just going to clean up shop. So, Cobalion I'm really happy with. I think you can get some boosts rolling really quickly, especially when paired with my next Pokemon, and we are looking at Azumarill here. Azumarill gets two really good abilities, actually three, but two really useful abilities in Sap Sipper and a huge power. Sap Sipper is basically a counter to anything like Rillaboom, Thwackey, the grass power that wants to attack you. Azumarill, people don't even realize that it gets Sap Sipper and then it boosts its attack and it's just out of control. So, Sap Sipper could come in certain winks. Huge power, amazing, of course, just for dishing out attacks, max boosting. Yeah, Belly Drum shenanigans if you want to do that with Aqua Jet. Really strong. So, Azumarill, great attacker, has some decent bulk, and fills the roles that I needed to fill. Bulky water type with a fairy dual typing, because as you can see, I won't be selecting any other fairies in my draft. So, however, onward we move to a mon that could be a fairy, I think, but what you're looking at is the Audino. Audino does some very cool stuff. So, Audino has the ability Healer, Regenerator, and Klutz, all three usable. Healer, just kind of your slap-on normal ability. Regenerator, more for longevity if you want this thing to set up multiple trick rooms or go for some crazy ally switch, heal pool shenanigans, etc, etc. Klutz is nice, except for I realized that it doesn't get trick, actually. So, it can fling. It can fling. Fling is the only usable aspect of its Klutz ability then. I think it gets trick in singles, but not doubles for some reason. Anyhow, just a really good mon. Helping Hand, Ally Switch, Icy Wind. Look at these moves. Body Slam, you can just slot in there for stab if you want an attack on it. Calm Mind, of course, to set up. Encore does get, you know, just your gambit of coverage. Flamethrower, Grass Knot, Ice Beam, Icy Wind. Does get Heal Bell, Healing Wish, all these really strong support moves. Light Screen and Reflect, if you want to go with the Light Clay set on this. I shouldn't talk too much about this because there's so much you can do. Wish, Yawn, you know, Yawn is such a useful asset in this kind of league. So, anyhow, we will move on to our picks 7 through 11. Pick 7, I actually did pick Butterfree, who has the ability to G-Max. The cool thing about Butterfree is it's a first turn Mon, you know? It gets moves like Tailwind, Rage Powder, Sleep Powder, and then you can use an attacking move just like Bug Buzz or something like that. For Gmax Befuddle. But really what this does is you just slap a Focus Sash on it, and it gets one turn, it usually gets one turn guaranteed to set up here. Whether it's Tailwind, Rage Powder to allow your teammate to set up, Sleep Powder to put your enemy to sleep, or just Bug Buzz to do some damage and perhaps get the Befuddle. It's a really good Mon. It can do a lot of... It doesn't have the widest range of things to do, but what it does well. You can see Electro Web there as well, Pollen Puff. It can do a few things really well. Skill Swap, yeah, not that useful, but anyhow. This is a Mon that you just sash and you bring it to a game, and if you lead or second turn with it right, it can do some really good stuff. So next up we have Togedemaru. Togedemaru has some really useful aspects about it. It's pretty much like your budget Raichu. I wanted Raichu originally, but that got taken by Jamie Sawyer and the Gardendale Gliscor. So anyhow, this thing has Discharge, Electro Web, Nuzzle, Fake Out, Spiky Shield, and really why I got this was for its range of abilities. Lightning Rod, amazing, versus Mons who want to use electric attacks against you. My team is pretty electric stable. Like, it should be able to combat electric teams pretty well. In fact, I think it'll probably make people not want to bring electric attacks, but Iron Barb's always good if you do get hit. Sturdy can work if you want to set up certain types of strategies. I'm not sure what those strategies would be without having looked too deeply at its move pool, but you know, it gets Eerie Impulse, it gets your range of electric attacks, Poison Jab, Iron Head, so Steel and Poison coverage. Even Grass Knot, which like one of my criticisms of my team is that it does lack some coverage, but having Grass Knot in every Mon is pretty cool. This Mon has really bad special attacks, so Grass Knot's basically not usable, but the main idea behind Togedemaru is it's a Raichu replacement, so just going to be Fake Out, Lightning Rod, Nuzzle, you know, stuff like that. Moving on, we then picked Gotharia. So Gotharia, aka Goth Jr., is something that people didn't foresee, I think, in Tier 5. It gets Trick Room, Ally Switch, Calm Mind, Fake Out, Fake Tears, Foul Play, Heal Pulse, Helping Hand. So many good support moves. The main idea behind this Mon is it's like a Trick Roomer with Fake Out, Hypnosis if you want to go for something like that, Helping Hand, Protect, Heal Pulse, stuff like that. So it's mostly a support Mon, which I really wanted to bolster this roster with some support Mons, considering the top 5 Mons are basically all offensive Mons to some degree. They do have some utility, like, you know, Azumarill can do stuff like Perish Trapping, etc. But Gotharia has some really nice bulk to it. So if you look at it, its defense is going to be basically converted to 105 once you apply the Eviolite. And 85 plus 1.5 is going to be about, yeah, over 120. So we're looking at like 137.5 or something like that, I want to say, for the special defense. It's got some longevity, and it can do all the things that Goth does. So I think Goth Jr. is a really nice pickup in Tier 5. And then moving along to the end of the draft, we ended up getting Alolan Marowak, who is a Trick Room sweeper, basically, for us. He's a Maxmon, yes or no, but I think there are some interesting things we can do with this, because it does get Ally Switch, it gets Icy Wind, it gets Fling, all kinds of weird stuff. It even gets Perish Song. I didn't know that. Interesting, Perish Song. So, yeah, this thing, a Will-O-Wisp, if you want to cripple your opponents. Just a very good mon. I think it's underrated. There's a reason this thing was tier 2, and I decided to pick it up with my second tier 2 because I think my team lends itself to a really good TR mode. Anyhow, the idea behind this mon is it comes to a third to a half of my games and just puts in offensive work. So, moving on, we got Tangrowth. I wanted another Rage Powder user, so we've got a couple redirect mons on this team. Flying does do some damage to any of our redirect, as well as fire, but we can kind of mitigate that if we use certain items. So, anyhow, you look at Tangrowth, and what Tangrowth does, it has Sleep Powder, you know, it has Rage Powder. It just sits there. It can boost if you want to use it as a Maxmon. You can run it with Assault Vest and boost with things like Sludge Bomb or Brick Break. I think you get Superpower as well. No, sorry. But it does get Brick Break, Focus Blast if you want to try and boost your attack. It has Earthquake, Knockoff. The coverage is just really good with a Pokemon like this. And then, yeah, it gets Block if you want to block someone in and go for something like the Perish Song. That's a tactic that I wouldn't say is out of play in this game. So, more or less, I look at my team and what do I think? I think this team is really good. It has a lot of offensive options. It has a lot of procking options. It has redirect. It has Trick Room. It has Trick Room abusers. What scares me about this team is like, okay, bring a water type with some ice coverage, and you can see ice weak, water weak, neutral to both, resistant, neutral, weak to ice, neutral, weak to water, weak to ice. So yeah, you can see problems with the typing in terms of the bulk, but at the same time, I think there's so much offense and variability in this team that if you play it the right way, you're going to 3 games with anyone in this league. And that's how most of the teams in this league are. They're very, very strong. So hopefully you guys enjoy my team. I think it is a really good team. I think there's opportunities to win every game if I can plan and assess in the right manner. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This is Steven, coach of the Seattle Marinis. My team is on the board right here for you. And, oh, no it's not. Where is Tangrowth? Okay, let's add Tangrowth. Why is Tangrowth not on here? Make me very sad, Tangrowth. You make me very sad. Let's see here. We go to the team spread. There he is. Look at that little Tangy. Little Tangrowth. So, yeah, Tangrowth is cool. I have lots of options for redirect now. Some people don't have any redirect. I have 2 options for redirect. They're both not my favorite, but they work, so. Now you can see all my mons. Let me know what you think about the team. We played Paul week 1. He has things like Glaring Zapdos, etc., etc. So I'll bring you a team builder before that. But in the meantime, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This is the Poketechnician, signing off.